All right. Okay. All right. What? Rapid is trolling. Who's Rapid? Who's Rapid? Who are you talking about? Ugh. Zion. Why are y'all talking about Zion? Hold on. Would you trade the number 2 pick for number 6 in Zion? No, I think I'm gonna pass on Zion. Okay. All right. I don't think Zion is the Spurs way. Number 1, Zion can't stay healthy. Okay. Number 2, Zion has a very difficult time eating right, which maybe in San Antonio that would change. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, he literally has rape allegations going on right now. I don't want any part of it, bro. Zion, he's a strange one. Okay. Yeah, the allegation. I'm cool in it. What if he's innocent? What if he's innocent? Who cares? I don't want him anywhere near my San Antonio Spurs. Thank you. We're okay. We're all right. Okay? What if he's innocent? What if he's not? Let's just keep him over there. Even if he's innocent, I don't want him. Yeah. There's many other reasons not to want Zion, but I know very least. Here's the thing with Zion, okay? When talking about, because we talk about off the court stuff all the time. Luckily for us, being the San Antonio Spurs, being Spurs fans, there's not a lot to talk about. There's not a lot to dissect as far as most of the off the court stuff that you hear from about our players that we talk about is positive. Like overwhelmingly so, it's positive. With Zion, even before these allegations, the stuff off the court is weird, y'all. It's very weird. He's not the highest beacon of character, okay? If I'm just being completely transparent with you. Zion does not have great character when it comes to interpersonal relationships. I'll tell you that right now. That stuff that happened it was weird, bro. It was weird. Zion ain't right, y'all. And bro, like he ghosted some chick, and then it was so weird. It was like 3 or 4 different women that was like, what the heck? Like he ghosted someone, or no, he was leading one person on, constantly like flirting with them, saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna get back to you, yeah, I love you, da, and then posted on social media like that he's getting ready to have a baby with another. It was pretty messed up. I don't want any parts of Zion, okay? Off the court stuff does matter. All right, we're not gonna separate the art from the artist here, okay? We're not doing that. Besides the off the court problems, I don't want a guy who plays like 60 minutes in 4 years. Yeah, I'm cool. What's up? Harper will start the season coming off the bench and probably the whole season. He might start the season coming off the bench. That's kind of tough to say. Since we're kind of in uncharted territory right now, right? Because we're not dealing with Popovich. Yeah, we're in uncharted territory. I actually don't know how Mitch Johnson's going to play this. He should be starting. He'll probably end up earning it, though. And I don't know if this season was like just a fluke as far as what Mitch Johnson liked to do. But I don't know. Seeing you on my TikTok is wild. What's up, Sebastian? Yeah, man. I'm going to start going live on TikTok more often. Let's do that. That'll be fun. I don't know how TikTok works. I don't know what coins are. I still don't know. 400 likes? I don't even know how that happens. How does that work? I know, but Fox and Castle are proven. It doesn't really matter. I don't care. I just want the best players starting. I think Castle will be really great off the bench, which he showed he can be great off the bench. I don't think you take Sohan off. I don't think you bring Sohan off the bench. To be honest with you. I like a player that's an enforcer, and we can kind of set the tone at the beginning of games, and that's what Sohan is. He can help set the tone with Wemby. Won it very uncomfortable for them. Quarter one. Who never earned it? Castle had to earn it, so definitely will. Yeah. It might not take that long, though. Number two in Fasel for 4 and Brandon Miller. Okay. Dylan Harper. I think from okay. These are my thoughts, okay? While this is a really great draft, and the more I look into it, these are my thoughts, okay? I think that there's Cooper, then there's Dylan Harper, and then I think there's a sizable drop-off after number 2. Sizable enough drop-off where I don't want to trade away my 2 for a 4 or a 5 or anything like that. Like, I think it's a sizable enough drop-off. And then I think from there on out, it's not... Like, there on out up to our 14, well, probably past that, but up to 14, especially for us, we can get pretty great talent, right? But I think there's a big drop-off between 2 and 3. So I'm cool on that. I don't want to give away our 2 at all. It would have to be a crazy deal. Dylan Harper is that good. Sohan probably comes off the bench, Clan, unless we got a rotational ready big. Oh, yeah. I guess it is circumstantial, huh? I think he should start, though. And so if you started him with Dylan Harper, that would actually be nasty. Because with Sohan being like the best or one of the best screeners in the NBA, Dylan Harper is really great playing off of screens. It's a natural at it. Just a fun debate. We got all kinds of options. Yeah. You see how deep the teams in the finals are? That's what I'm saying. Guys don't think just because we have our starting backcourt filled out that it means we completely negate any opportunity to get more at that position. Dude, you do not have to worry. Like, I think everybody wants like this perfect harmony as far as each position, right? It's like, well, we only need 2 point guards, we need 2 shooting guards, we need 2 small no, dude. Get you as many positionless players as possible. The only thing that I think is set in stone that you absolutely need is a backup big. Like, we do not have a backup big, a backup center. Somebody that can come in for Wemby and at least play decent defense. That's one thing you absolutely need. Apart from that, I think we need a starting small forward, but, you know, I think get some positionalist players and roll with it. I really wanted Jarris Walker, but he just got injured tonight. That's sad. Did you guys watch that game? That was like one of those games that if you didn't watch it and you just saw the score afterwards, you were like, wow, this wasn't a fun game. It was a fun game. Like, genuinely fun game. I don't want anyone to talk about how there's no physicality in the NBA anymore. I don't want to... Dude, even the commentators were trying to, like, allude to that. You don't let guys play anymore. What are we talking about? You're watching an extremely physical game. Whole series been fun? Yeah. But, like, you're watching a physical game, and we're complaining about it not being physical enough? It was like every play someone was on the deck. Yeah, what a great series. The finals is going to be special. I'm calling it right now. The NBA finals, this is about to be a classic. I don't think OKC is as clear of a favorite as we want to say. Like, obviously they're a favorite. They're a phenomenal team. I think talent-wise they're better. The only thing that I worry about with the Pacers is they have all the depth in the world. So does OKC. But the one thing that kind of separates the two, at least for me, in my opinion, is OKC has a go-to guy if all things get muddy, right? I don't know, even though I think Halliburton is a superstar, I don't know who can just keep bringing you a bucket regardless of how great the defense is. You know what I mean? It seems like with the Pacers, it can be anybody on their team that goes off. But with two teams that play intense defense, it's going to be very difficult to get good looks. And I'm just wondering, because obviously you can look at OKC and it's SGA, right? Like you can give him all kinds of looks. He could probably start to get going. I just don't know if the Pacers have that same type of player. But we'll see. I'm going for the Pacers, obviously. I don't even hate OKC like some people. I genuinely like SGA a lot. I think Chet is a competitor, even though we make fun of him all the time. But I just don't want to hear from OKC fans. I don't want to hear from OKC fans, and I don't want to hear from Spurs fans. Okay? All right? So chat, if you're wondering who I'm going for in the finals, it is the Pacers, okay? And like I said, it's not because I hate OKC like some Spurs fans do. I don't hate OKC. It's just kind of two things going on, all right? OKC fans, we're not going to be able to hear the end of it until we win our championship. And that's going to be a minute. I think the Spurs don't win at least a couple more seasons, right? But number two, I don't want to hear from the toxic Spurs fans, okay? There's very few of us, but I don't want to hear it from them, all right? They praise OKC for everything, even though OKC started their rebuild far before us. They will just, gosh, man, they will glaze the crap out of that team. Glaze the crap out of them. Oh, funny. Hold on. Let's make that a segment because I did see that. So Wemby reposted something. I think I saw it maybe the day prior. And I didn't even notice that Wembanyama saw it. And he rarely ever tweets anything. What the heck is Wemby's? Here it is. It's just Wemby. He rarely tweets anything. But if you go over to his Twitter, he retweeted this. So what is this? This is all of the fan bases that have negativity, the percentage of negative comments when it comes to the fan base. So as we can see here, which it's a little distorted. Like I saw some people saying, well, the Mavericks, they have the most toxic, they have the most toxic fan base in the NBA, as you can see here, because the percentage of negative comments is 32%. And to that I say, wouldn't you be really negative this season? I mean, I think the Mavericks might be an outlier here. Like, I think this is within a year. Let's see. All it says is the Dallas Mavericks have the most negative fan base in the NBA per. Yeah, I think this is based off the year. I'm not 100% sure. But as of recent, I mean, if I'm the Mavericks fan, I mean, most things that I tweet out or I post is going to be negative. So I'm not going to get on Dallas Mavericks like that. But some of these, yeah, I can see it. The Celtics, Timberwolves, Grizzlies is a little bit of a shocker, but honestly, I don't see a lot of Grizzlies comments, but I'm not on Grizzly Twitter. 76ers 5, I can see that. It's funny though, because if you look at some of these fan bases, these are some of the worst fan bases in the NBA, right? Like Boston fans are very, very difficult to deal with. Philly fans, Knicks fans, you know, who else is in the top 10? I'm surprised that Orlando Magic is 10. Houston Rockets, dude, how is Houston not higher? Everything they say is negative. But as you can see here, the San Antonio Spurs are dead last. So regardless of, and despite all of the negative things that we go over, like certain topics where it's like, oh my God, why are fans talking about this? They are a small minority. As far as negative comments, we're at 21%. Most of them have been positive. And I don't want to say this is just because we have Wemby. I don't think that that's true. Because, just as long as I've been, online and interacting with Spurs fans, I'll say that we have some of the best fans that I've seen and people that I've interacted with. I know this is football, but Cowboys, the reason why I stopped, because I used to have an Instagram page for Cowboys. It got fairly big, and I just sold it off because Dallas Cowboys fans are horrible. I just didn't want to communicate with these people. But San Antonio Spurs fans, I never felt that way. Like, it's overwhelmingly positive most of the time. It's just those few people that are toxic and have bad things to say all the time. But anyways, so I mentioned Wemby. This is what Wemby posted. He said, he basically made a meme out of it. When I'm in a positive comment competition, and my opponent is a Spurs fan. And you can see he got 54,000 likes on it. So quite a few people saw it. 3.5 million people saw it. And yeah, so Wemby is very happy to be part of this group. And this is important, man. Stuff like this is important. Like, I get so tired of people saying, which I don't think that this is true anyways, but so many people say the fan base is going to kick these players out. That not really. I mean, these players, yeah, they probably hate some of the fans that they come in contact with, and it's kind of a toxic environment. But our organization and our fan base, it's just all in sync, man. It's pretty nice to see. It's pretty nice to see an organization that they said this before, that the people that they try to hire, they want decent people, like decent people working for them. And it's really nice that they have that, and then the fan base also reflects that. Just good stuff, man. Just good stuff. Yeah, you're probably right. There's a few toxic ones. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I won't say the few people that are toxic, but there's some, man, that's just horrible. Nothing but contrarians, and all they do is have negative things to say all the time. But yeah, but Wemby loves the franchise. He loves the fan base. You just love to see it. You just absolutely love to see it, right? And maybe part of it is due to, I mean, I don't think it's a, how could I say? I don't think it's an accident, right? The Spurs fans being more positive than negative over the years, it's mostly because the organization has given us a reason to do so. Now, some of it is like culture-wise, right? Like if you go to certain cities, I mean, people just act a little differently, right? Like you go to New York, I mean, people, they're more honest with their negative feedback. But the Spurs, we've been spoiled for so long till, I don't know, we always kind of have something to look forward to. It's not too many years of down years where we have no future whatsoever. We had like a couple, all the toxic people came out of the woodwork to have something to say, but we can still see the silver lining out of all of it. At least I've tried to. I've attempted to do that with this channel. But anyways, so Wemby loves this fan base. We love Wemby. Good stuff. Just didn't know if you guys saw that or not. Wemby does love those tacos. That is true. That is true, Ben. So yeah, that was something. I thought that was cool. But there was something else. Where is it? Let's see here. Okay. Okay, so okay. All right, so I wanted to bring this to your attention because I think it's always important to pay attention to everything off the court, okay? So one player that a lot of Spurs fans have wanted is Nas Reid. And I don't know if you guys saw this. I'm like 90% positive that this is real. Quite a few people have posted this. And someone even brought up the group chat that they were in which they actually baited him into this. Now, this doesn't mean that I don't want him or anything like that. This doesn't mean that he's trash or he's garbage. He's a horrible player. He's a horrible person or whatever. I don't think any of that. But it's at least something to keep a track on, okay? So what ended up happening was Nas Reid. I think this is somebody who was betting on him, but like I said, I think they were just trolling him. He had this back and forth through messages, and this was like right after losing in the Western Conference Finals. Very strange. Was that really him? I'm pretty sure this was posted quite a few places, and people were like, yeah, we were the ones who baited him. So as you can see here, well, is there even audio to? There's no audio to this, is there? Doesn't make sense. Yeah, there's no audio. So the person said, you know, you can read it there. And then he said, you're mad, broke, and fat, which that's something that, you know, NBA players seem to go to often. We know that Mr. Freeze, Mr. Malachi, allegedly Malachi, sent that out as well, that you're broke. Best believe I ain't broke. Yep. Get a bucket, bum. You're broke. I promise you that. Never that. I'll make that ish back in a day. Okay, so yeah, this is somebody saying that they bet on him, which is lame. To go at the player off of this. Don't mean you not broke, fat man. Okay. Just because you make a couple shots don't mean you still not a bum. I took 4 shots and missed once. You sucking mad right now. You really love talking about you sucking off Ant right now, huh? This is ridiculous. At this point, stop talking to this person. You're mad, weird little... I think they blocked that out. Even thinks of some weird ish to say like that. Okay. Oh, wait. Actually, this was later in the conversation. All right. And you can kind of see that they were showing the bet stuff from Prize Picks. All right. Actually, I'm just going to play it. You remember, fat man don't got no jokes. Just fake, broke, and hungry. That's nasty, twin. Okay, just fake, broken. Just fake. Oh, you're fake, comma, broke, and hungry. Okay. Then he says, twin, I would myself if I was your twin. Go get a bucket. I missed 1 shot, fat man. Like, it is a lot of like, you're fat and you're broke. Like, that's basically the whole thing, okay? You can screenshot or pause the video or whatever. Most of this is just, you're fat, you're broke, you're a bum, you're fat, you're broke, you fat, you broke boy, you fat broke boy, you fat. That's it. Nas look 30. I don't know how old Nas Reid is. But with that being said, if this is true, right? If this is true, I'm just gonna say I'm not a big fan of stuff like this. Like I feel like it's a little. I don't want to say it's fragile because obviously, like somebody coming at you, you have every right to insult them back if they're insulting you or calling you out of your name. Why not? You know. But at the same time, it's like we have a couple players. I won't bring them up, but we have a couple players that have played for the Spurs before that have these back and forths with fans, and we've seen it affect how they play on the court at times. I don't know if that'd be the case with Nas Reid. I have no idea. Just something to bring up, something to keep in the back of your minds if you are, looking to add him to the squad. He's very talented. I wasn't gonna say it, Frosty, but he's very talented. Okay. I think that he will be a perfect backup big, but a couple things that worry me is the amount of money it would cost, which, I'm not a part of that conversation, right? We don't have to worry about that, but I think he is going to take up quite a bit of the cap space. And then also stuff like this, man. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, do you just respond to every single person that trolls you? What are we doing? So, yeah. Just wanted to bring it to your attention. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'll post this segment at some point, and you just let me know what you think, any Spurs fans, because I know a lot of people want Nas Reid. This probably doesn't change anything, but yeah. Yeah. Anyways. All right, so that was just a short one. I don't know. You said we can afford the cap space. What are we going to do anyway? Save this cap space for what? I will want to back up big. I just don't know if you would have to get a Nas Reid to make that happen, right? Where the heck? I always want to know what coaches and orgs thought about players doing that. Well, we know that Popovich wouldn't care for that. All right, so this is flying.
Castle to pull up. YouTube was good. Flight T stand up. We got.
This is Steph Castle playing with Flight Reacts. Oh, that's terrible. This is boring. Someone told me to react to this, but like this isn't going to be fun. This is just boring. But Steph Castle jumped on and played with Flight. I don't even care who wins. I don't even care. I'll be honest. Castle nice at 2K. I hope he is. Yeah, Flight's just, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that interview, is that a video or was it literally just an article? Was that interview like... Let me see. Wait, is this it? Oh, wait, is this it? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on, chat. I think this is it. I think this might be where that article came from. Is this interview? Let's take a look. Yeah, this might be it right here. Shoot, let's take a look at this. I guess it's like a smaller segment. They talk about T-Mac too. So T-Mac surprise roster spot on the 2013 team. Who cares about that? All right, we'll speed up just a tad. Yeah, just a tad. Let's see here.
Kind of the falling out between Pop and Kawhi. Did you see that up close and personal? And what was kind of your take
I saw
from it?
when I was there, so I know he saw it.
I mean,
okay, so my thoughts on it really quick. So, as you guys know, I brought this up plenty of times before, But when that whole situation went down, I actually got some inside info on it. And I remember posting it on Instagram and so many people getting upset at me. Okay. The person that actually told me was very close to the team, like to the point where like I made sure for them to verify everything and on who they were. And they were really cool about everything, but obviously they would have had a bias as well. But basically I laid out every single thing that was going on. It ended up being completely true like a month later when everyone knew. But it was so many people like calling me a liar, saying you don't know what you're talking about. And people just, I mean, they're just going to do that anyways because they want to protect what's going on. But I was someone who absolutely loved Kawhi. Like I was crazy about Kawhi. Like this right here, I had, it was All-Star, like what is it called? Small Stars? Small Stars. They sent me this and they were like, hey, all you have to do is just like post it and say that you got it. They sent me this for free because they knew how much I loved Kawhi, right? And this is like one of the very few of them that were made because literally right after this, you know, the trade happened and everything. But yeah, so I was crazy about Kawhi, so I didn't want to, you know, say any of that. I didn't want to think that it was true, but it was undeniably true. And most of it came down to Uncle Dennis. Like most of it was just Uncle Dennis. So I want to preface by saying that because anything that because I know Danny Green is friends with Kawhi as well. But anything outside of that, I feel like will be not, I don't want to say disingenuous, but a little bit of a bias, okay? But if he's being completely honest and real here, he's going to say Uncle Dennis. Like, all of it was Uncle Dennis. All of it. All right.
I saw some of what was happening. I never, till
Oops, sorry.
this day, I never asked Kawhi, me and him, what happened. I've heard from other people of things that have happened. I can see, give you my mathematics of what happened. I think
The fact that he is like one of Kawhi's best friends or really close to Kawhi, and he's like, hey, I never asked. I don't know. I just know what people told me or whatnot. I'm telling you this right off the bat. It was all Uncle Dennis. There was no like secret thing or one reason why. No, it was just Uncle Dennis. It was just him. He wanted Kawhi to go to L.A. He wanted more stardom for him. That's all it was.
I think his uncle had a lot.
Hold on.
Mathematics of what happened. I think his uncle had a lot of what to do with what was going on off the
influence.
court.
Yeah,
a lot of influence with it. And I think once his uncle saw some distasteful things in his mind, it was like, all right, we're not doing this. You know, we're not gonna, because you know San Antonio.
What was distasteful? What was distasteful? I know that when Kawhi went to Toronto, they basically gave him like every single thing that he wanted. Like any small request he got, which was kind of ridiculous. But I'm pretty sure the Spurs allowed Kawhi to bring in his own people when it came to his injury. They allowed a lot of things for Kawhi. The Tony Parker effect? What do you mean by that, Impeccable?
They don't treat anybody like superstars. And I think his uncle kind of, and rightfully so.
right. Only 3 people for a long time.
You know what I'm saying? Rightfully so. He should have been treated like a superstar. But Timmy, so Pop was spoiled. He never had to treat Timmy like that because Timmy never needed. He never cared to be that. But I think, you know, Kawhi.
Treat him. What does this entail? That's my question. What does it entail to treat someone like a superstar? Because in my opinion, all right, me watching the games at least, and even post game and everything, I thought Popovich was always more critical of other guys than, you know, some of his superstars, right? Like he would get onto them. You will see him yell at Tony. We'll see him yell at Timmy sometimes. But I don't know. He wasn't as hard on them as he was other players. So what exactly was it? And Peckle says that and coming back from those 9 games, then getting my injury was 100 times worse. I think that was the the plug pool. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. If all it takes is for one player to say, "Hey, we had the same injuries, but you know I got over mine." If all it takes is that one player for you to say, "Hey, bye, I'm leaving forever," I don't. You wanted to go anyways. I'm sorry. I don't buy that. Right? I think that they just used that as an excuse. They already wanted out. And the biggest problem of all of it because I remember Manu Ginobili trying to be cool about it, but his interview, and the biggest issue was they didn't know where Kawhi was. Like, he wasn't communicating with anyone. He wasn't even coming to watch film with them. They didn't know what was going on with Kawhi. He just left. He just bounced. That's a problem when your star player just bounce on you like that. And people got critical. Rightfully so. But if you're fragile enough to be like, oh, wow, you guys talked about me. I think what it was Uncle Dennis just used that as a talking point for Kawhi. His uncle probably got in his ear and said, yep, I agree with you, Impeccable. His uncle probably got in his ear and said, see that? They don't value you like that. Let's go home. Yep. That's exactly what it was. Yep.
I had the injury. Tony said some things in the media, and then Pop said some things in the media. I think, Uncle Dennis was like, nah, that's not because Kawhi came back for 9 games, and after that, he's like, you got to talk to Kawhi's people. And that, to them, from my understanding.
Oh, he's like, you got to talk to Kawhi's people. So that was absolutely true what we heard, that Pop tried to go talk to, because I remember they said that Pop went to talk to Kawhi, but he couldn't talk to Kawhi. He had to talk to Kawhi's people, which is insane. I'm sorry. Like, you want to be treated like that? That's just disrespectful to me. Like, I don't know.
I came back for 9 games, and after that, he's like, you got to talk to Kawhi's people. And that, to them, from my understanding, I think they saw that was disrespectful, and that, some of the things Tony said was like, they were like, okay, that's disrespectful. And then they were like, we're not, for what the rumblings were, he's not going to be seen in a San Antonio Spurs uniform again.
This is some like Emperor Palpatine type maneuvering, bro. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Talk about self-fulfilling prophecy. You create the problem, and then you use that as a talking point to say, see, they don't like you. I told you. They don't care about you like I do. That's crazy. Yeah, Uncle Palpatine. Uncle Palpatine, bro.
Yeah, I never asked him what happened. One day maybe we'll get a chance to chop it up when he's done hooping. But I was fortunate enough to play with him in San Antonio and also play with him again in Toronto. We had a great year, and
that's why I got traded though. Because me and him was getting too close when the time I was there.
Why?
You know about that? I'm telling you.
Yeah, but also Stack
was coming to my house. They didn't like that.
was bugging out.
What? 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 You got traded because what? Because you were hanging out with a teammate? Hold on, what? There's a lot of reasons why the Spurs didn't like Stack, right? Like he always has something new to say on what was the problem.
A great year. And
what is he talking
that's
about?
Why I got traded though. Because me and him was getting too close when the time I was there.
Kawhi?
You know about that? I'm telling you.
Yeah, but also Stack
was coming to my house. They didn't like that.
was bugging out.
They didn't.
Let's hear that side because we only get one part.
I remember this very vividly. But Stack he's not gonna just let people talk some certain way. He's not gonna just let people practices just go the way they're supposed to. It's game like, you're gonna talk shit.
And that's all the playing time I was getting at the time.
And you know what I'm saying? So
it was practice.
So we in practice, and in the system they like things done so right. We're gonna run this play though, and you're supposed to not cheat it or whatever. And Stack's like, no, what if they do this? And he's like, well, they're not gonna do that. He goes, so basically Jack was talking back like, nah, fuck, we're not doing everything your way. We're gonna do it this way, or sometimes it may happen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he probably shouldn't be on the team then. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not one of those that like the coaches are always right all the time, okay? But we have a track record of winning championships, winning a lot of games, and he's disrupting practices and like having an issue with the system when the system has worked. I don't know. I think maybe it wasn't a matter of what Stack said, but a matter of how he said it. That's probably what it was, right? I'm sure that if he came a certain way with like genuine concern to the coaches or whatever, I'm sure they'll talk it through. But like, no. It gets worse. No, keep watching. No, shut up.
In this way, how you gonna know what the fuck's gonna happen? I didn't see Stack.
I was
like, what the fuck happened?
He is not lying. I had a great practice.
He was talking shit.
Yep.
And he was going at Kawhi back and forth, and he was like, yo, go under. He's like, nah.
Who's the little point guard?
I was young. I'm young. I don't know what's wrong or right. You know?
No, the little point guard from overseas. Nicola.
Nando.
Okay. And I was talking to him crazy about swinging the ball. You know what I'm saying? I was like, swing the fucking ball. You know, I was into it.
Who's stacked? It's Steven Jackson. Exactly, impeccable. Steven Jackson with this. How can I make this about me again? It's crazy. I remember we looked at one video and it was so weird. It was like they were talking about, it was a topic that had nothing to do with anything. And then he was just like, that's why I don't like San Antonio. It's like, what? Bro, seriously? Seriously? Like it looks like you just didn't fit the vibe, man. You didn't fit the vibe. All right? You made it it sounds like you made it a hostile work environment when it didn't have to be. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Bro, I had a great practice.
His normal intense self into the game, talks, but that's how he plays. How he hoop. You're on the court. You're competitive. So he's doing that to all others and us, and they telling him, yo, you do it this way, do that. And he's like, well, you might not do it that way. You know, I'm hooping. Let me do it.
But this what you don't know.
And I was just like, what I've heard anyways. But I was just like, damn, I ain't see Stack after that. I was like, damn, what happened? I'm like, yo, we need him. Mac. I was like, all right, Mac, cool. But I'm like, damn, we had Stack for a year.
I went in the locker room after practice. Tim was in there. Man, you know, Tim loved when all of us do good. He was our biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
By the time he'd say something to me, go in the locker room. As soon as I'm ready to take my shoes off, Pop wants you in the film room. I'm like, oh, shit, I know this can't be.
Principal's office.
This is the first thing he tell me, bro. He say, look at this. He finds the worst play that I've ever made that season. Just that play. And showed it.
In the game?
It was about 8 games ago, though. It wasn't even recent.
Pop is
He was probably testing him. Was he testing him? Pop was probably testing him. I'm gonna see how this conversation goes. I wonder if he was testing. I wonder if he was like, look at this play and try to see his reaction, right? If you absolutely lose it, then it's like, yeah, dude, no. Because now you can't be criticized. But it sounds like Pop was trying to like get in his head a little bit. All right, maybe DJ and Stack are right a little bit with the mind game. Maybe a little bit. He's definitely trying to get at him though, right? Let's see.
Very good
Petty.
at the chess play.
He's super petty.
He gonna cuss you out for this game, whatever game it is, so that you're ready for 2 games from now. You might be playing Sacramento Kings, so said that time they weren't good. It's like, all right, I know we playing Atlanta or whoever it is that's good. I need you more locked in for this game. So I'm going to cuss you out, put you in the doghouse. So you mad. If you play better mad, I know you'll come out ready focused for this game. Don't do that.
T-Mac was already on the way there, first off. So
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. T-Mac was in the air. Like, he had already checked in.
To the rescue?
No, the plane took off already.
Yeah.
He was on the way to San Antonio, though. And one thing about Pop, like you say, he's the smartest person one of the smartest people I know. He know my reaction before he even asked me something.
It was
basically a setup. And he knew I was going to fall for it because, you know my passion.
Yeah.
He brought me in there, showed me that. And he was like, you know what, Jack? You haven't been playing well. The guys that I'm going to play, you know, I want them to have confidence going in. You was talking to these guys so bad in practice today. I'm going to bring the guys in, and I want you to basically admit that all these guys are better than you because I'm going to play these guys.
Oh, so it changed. Guys. So now we have more context. Yo, this is crazy. You guys remember? I remember this vividly, okay? I don't remember exactly what year we went over this, but I remember Steven Jackson saying that the biggest issue he had was that Popovich wanted him to tell, I think Manu, right? Was it Manu? He said, I deserve to be played over Manu. And he said, Pop told me, tell Manu Ginobili that he's better than you. That's what he said before. Now, the context is completely different. Him saying he was better than Manu. Yeah. So now the context is completely different. Now we have more now we know there was a practice in which he was throwing every single player under the bus, basically saying you're trash, pass the ball. And these are young guys too. You're trash, pass the ball. And that's not our vibe, right? And Popovich, he knows people, so he knows that this is what this guy needs. This is what this guy needs, right? Like Danny Green, you probably need to curse him out to get him going, right? But this player, he probably needs a little bit more, positive affirmations, right? Like he understands what each player needs, and he saw that Jackson is actually hurting the team, so he said, hey, this is basically your chance to redeem yourself and stay with this squad. You're gonna have to go out there and you're gonna have to tell them that they're good. Can you do that? But he's sitting here like, no, it's just passion. No, bro. No, I'm sure you're passionate, but this is also toxicity. This is also ego. We can't just use your passion as an excuse for your ego. You know what I'm saying? It's called being a professional. Yeah, and you can be you can get in people's stuff or whatnot, right? But at the end of the day, you're not Michael Jordan, all right? You're not Kobe Bryant, all right? You're not. You're a role player. You're not these guys. You're not these guys. And if Tim Duncan, as great as he is, never does that, then what makes you think you can come in and you can be the guy that does that? You know who does do it? Popovich. He's the one that's allowed to get away with it. Pop. Not the players. We don't have players like that. Unless you're an absolute superstar, you don't do it. You're not better than Manu. You're not better than Tony. You're not better than Pop. Not Pop. I'm sorry. Well, you're not better than Pop. But you're not better than Timmy. What are you doing? Even our team right now, Wemby doesn't do this, and Wemby's like going to be one of the greatest players ever to walk this earth. Like, you don't have to do that. Wow, the amount of context, bro. It took this long for us to get extra context. Now it makes sense. So it wasn't just, hey, tell Manu that he's better than you. Like, you straw man the crap out of what happened.
So bad practice today. I'm gonna bring the guys in, and I want you to basically admit that all these guys are better than you because I'm going to play these guys. And I'm like,
damn well, Jack ain't going.
Fuck, man, fuck
Jack
you, Pop. And got my shit and walked about it. And then as I was walking, I seen Tim on the training table, and he was like, I'm like, man, I'll holler at you later. And I just walked up out of there.
Yeah.
That was the end of it.
I knew,
Wow.
And by 4 hours
Wow, that's great. Wow, that was your chance to stay.
later, you see on the news, Tracy McGrady is in the San Antonio practice uniform shooting jumpers. I'm like, nigga. Pop knew exactly what he was doing. But I don't hold any grudges to Pop or nobody because Pop did a lot for me. But that was my sign to retire. That was my sign to retire. After that.
That was your sign to retire. You're so brave. He's so brave. Wait, he did it to him twice? Wait. Wait, no, y'all, shut up. He did it twice? What are you talking about? Jack won his chip in 03. Come on. Wait, no. Wait, somebody was saying 03 versus 12. What are we talking about? Oh, without him, we don't win in 03? Caps, you're crazy. He was very important in 03. The Manu incident was 2003. The story was 2013. So this happened twice? Oh my goodness, bro. Jeez. I don't know, man. Hey, shout out to Jackson. He was a good role player. But no, dude, I don't want to use that in 03. In 03, we had a team full of role players, him being one of them. He was important, don't get me wrong. But like, most of it came down to Duncan. Duncan was playing out of his mind. Yeah, exactly. With that logic, then Steve Kerr equals championship. Yeah, I don't really like that. I don't like saying, like, without this one role player, you don't win the championship. Like, do we do that with Patty? Like, okay, without Patty Mills, do we win the championship? Probably. I mean, we could have did with Gary Neal. Without Gary Neal, we're not going to be able to win a championship. And you replaced him with Marco Bellinelli, and we still won, so it doesn't really matter. Did we win without Marco Bellinelli? That's the beauty of the 2014 team, though. They did have a lot of depth. He did. Yeah, Steve Jackson hit some big shots. I mean, you can look, Caps. I'm not trying to disrespect Jackson, okay? He was a role player, but I'm not trying to disrespect him. He was a good player for us. It's just when we start to make an excuse for this type of behavior, bro. Like, this is all ego. It's all ego. And the Spurs are just if you want to be with the Spurs and you want to win championships and be successful, we're not going to be a franchise that's going to just deal with, just anything, right? Like, play for the Lakers, play for other teams that, would players with high egos, do something like that. But with the Spurs, they just aren't like that. They're not operated that way. They don't have to keep you. It's up to you if you want to stay or not. So I don't know. I'm not going to blame the org, blame the coaches, and blame all of the other players that are on that team that didn't do what Stack was doing when they've been successful and it works. They got a recipe that works. If you don't want to be part of it, then don't be part of it. Gary Neal. Yeah, I mentioned Gary Neal because he got replaced with Marco Bellinelli, but the Spurs were very successful in 2013, and Gary Neal, just trying to draw a comparison here, Gary Neal also hit some really big shots for us, right? So you could have made that argument back then, like, oh, well, you're not going to be able to make it to the finals and win without Gary Neal. Like, no, the role players are role players for a reason. Now, there's levels to that, right? I don't think that the Warriors win as many championships as they do without Draymond, right? And he's a role player. But Jackson, to me, is... yeah, he's not that level of a role player. He does. Cap says, I watch every Jack interview. He always shows respect to Pop, Spurs, and Tim. He does. Just talking about this one incident, which, yeah, that was all ego. I'm sorry. He was done dirty by Pop, period. I don't agree. I don't agree. Don't agree with that. I don't think he was done dirty. It sounds to me that Pop gave him some outs here. It's just he didn't fit the vibe, man. If you don't fit the vibe, what was Pop supposed to do? I just don't agree that we should have just been cool with it. Like, Steven Jackson was all ego for a very long time. And he even says, like, stuff, even today, he still says stuff that's like, what? Like, he thought that he was better than Tony. Like, he genuinely said that he's better than Tony Parker. Like, what are we talking about? Like, this dude has an ego, bro. Like, a crazy ego. We can't just have a player that has crazy ego that's a role player and just say every single time, well, he was done dirty by it. No, dude. Impeccable says Stack gets ego checked and throws tantrums. The team doesn't have to facilitate that from a non-star. Exactly. Yeah, that's all it is. And you can get away with stuff like that if you are. I don't hate to be that guy, but if you are a Michael Jordan, if you are a Kobe, right? Like, you can get away with quite a bit of ego because you are the best player on the team. I mean, let's be real, right? Like, you're the best player on the team. And people can kind of roll with it. But, like, Steven Jackson, calm down. All right? Let's relax a little bit. He was a good player, but let's not act like he was a star. And let's not pretend he was better than Tony Parker. Like, that's insane for him to ever say that. Anyways, this was good, though. This was fun. Thanks for showing me. What? No, someone didn't show me this. Someone in the comments mentioned it. And I looked it up. But thank you. I appreciate it. We forget how good he was. Oh, Tony Parker? Tony Parker was crazy. He was crazy good. G Money, all good. Clan, you think Wemby grew at 7'7"? I don't agree. I don't believe that. They did the same thing last year where they were like, he grew, and he actually didn't. Yeah, I don't agree. I don't think that. Hold on. I came across this. Let me see. Oh, guys. Guys. We got some news here. So, as you know, Vic has been doing well with his recovery. And apparently, this is kind of what I wanted initially. And then I kind of, like, got on the fence about it. as time went on, where I'm just like, maybe it doesn't matter as much. But it might be official now. So Spurs star reportedly takes major decision, good God, in his recovery, and it's regarding Eurobasket. So as you know, he was going to participate in this, and one thing that I kept saying was I really hope that Wemby is just with the team, that he's trying to recover, because he hasn't really had a full offseason with us, and I thought that it hurt him this season. Like, just to be honest with you, I thought it hurt him. I thought that he wasn't bad. Obviously, Wemby is like phenomenal, top, probably top 5 player in the NBA. But there was many occurrences where we were like, he doesn't really have a go-to shot yet. Sometimes he can still get a little bullied because his strength isn't there. So we needed a full offseason, and we excused last because it was the Olympics. Like, how do you not participate in that? But as far as Eurobasket, it looks like we having a decision here. So, let's see, he was diagnosed with DVT shortly after the All-Star weekend, which forced him to sit out last part of 24-25. His injury-focused absence also meant he would miss playing a part for France at the 2025 Eurobasket tournament. Wemby, however, had expressed his desire to play, but his participation was uncertain due to his progress in recovery. According to League Insider Con, on Tuesday, Wembanyama won't participate in the Eurobasket 2025 due to his ongoing recovery. The 2024 Rookie of the Year will prioritize his health and rebuild his conditioning after an extended absence. To me, that's good news. Do want to know what you guys say about that. But Wembanyama will not participate with the Team France at Eurobasket per sources. While he was initially committed, Wemby is now expected to shift his focus towards recovery and rebuilding full conditioning. Now, when it came to this, what we heard last time was actually from the coach for Team France, in which he was like very excited and optimistic that Vic will be able to play. But this news is the complete opposite of that, guys. Let's see here. Victor Wembanyama will not participate with Team France at Eurobasket 2025 per sources. All right, so that was the tweet. The French Basketball Federation's president, Jean-Pierre Hunkler, mentioned that Wembanyama had assured him on his intent, bearing any physical setbacks. Well, we got a physical setback. The tournament is scheduled to take place August 27th to September 14th. So it wasn't long. I know people brought that up to me as well. Like, it's not that long that he'll be playing. But I think that one thing that always worried me was there's going to take quite a bit of preparation for that, right? Before that even starts. And I would much rather him just focus in on the San Antonio Spurs right now. That's my selfishness, though. Let's see. Moving on. League Insider gives update on Victor Wembanyama. The Spurs, everything I hear, they fully expect him to be ready to go for the start of next season, for the start of training camp. That's from Pat McAfee. The Spurs, in his absence, missed the playoffs and finished 13th in the Western Conference with a 34-48 record. How much better do you guys think we would have done? I was expecting the Spurs to get to, what was I going for, 44 wins? Most people before the season started said 35, and then when we actually got about 35, everyone was upset. 40, yeah. I think I went with 44, which was on the very high end. I was pretty off. Just manage his minutes in group stage. He can test his readiness. Okay. All right. So how you guys feeling about it? You cool with it? Upset? Happy? I think this is a good thing. Nonetheless, I think this is a good thing. So yeah, there's our update. There's our Wembanyama update. The fact that we still got the second overall pick is kind of crazy. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. That's why I say go ahead and take the number 2 pick and roll with it, because you don't know how many opportunities you're gonna get, because the Spurs should be winning after this playoff team. That's another reason why I want to keep the Atlanta picks as well. It's a great thing he needs to sit down. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's how I felt. It's just like every time we look up, it's like he's participating in something, I understand the Olympics. Like, there's no way you don't do that. But yeah, man, you gotta look. Me and Impeccable are like this right now. He said, bulk up, refine his game, be prepared for next season. There will be more Eurobasket. Yeah, bulk up and refine your game. That's what I'm saying. And when I guess I haven't said refine his game, but I definitely said like find a go-to move, which is basically the same thing, right? And then bulk up. Yeah, because the last couple seasons with Wemby has been obviously very high basketball IQ player, but I would like to see rather than him leaning on his physical so much, which is sometimes he get away with quite a few things, maybe undisciplined on the offensive end just because of how talented he is, right? We saw how many shots he just jack up, regardless of the situation. It's like, okay, can we slow down a little bit? But I think a big part of that is not really having, a go-to move that he really wants to go to, right? Like he's just kind of a mixed bag of so many different things. And this would be a good chance and opportunity to kind of, you don't have to do all that, right? Skyhook. Everyone says skyhook. No one does the skyhook anymore. I'm going to assume that we're not going to get that. But find something. Skyhook 3-ball. Do it. Find something, right? The most efficient way that you can get baskets, because when you get to the playoffs, it's a whole nother game. And as much as I love Wemby, I haven't, which he's super young. It's fine. It's normal. And especially when he doesn't have a complete offseason. But I never just felt fully comfortable and laid back when the ball is in his hands and we absolutely need some buckets. I never really felt like that. He can get going and be incredible, right? Defensive end, I'm always calm. Offensively, I haven't felt that way. Like when you watch somebody like SGA and he has the ball in his hands, you feel a little bit of comfort, right? Luka Doncic, same thing. You feel a little bit of comfort. Wemby, not yet, because he's a little unpredictable offensively, as far as what he's about to do or what's going to be. He's unstoppable only because how talented and long and lanky he is. Efficient moves, yeah. Bank shot Wemby, exactly. Tim Duncan had the ball in his hands. You know what's coming. We know what's coming. But at the end of the day, we feel comfortable. We're like, he's going to get it off. You can't stop it. Nothing you can do about it. It's going to happen. But I don't really feel that way with Wemby yet. Good stuff. Good news. Great news, actually. All right. Definitely wanted to show you guys that. I know there's more. So okay. So you will take this as you will, okay? Take this as you will. But Sohan liked a tweet recently. Now, if you guys been on Twitter, you will know that for some reason they got rid of the like section, so you can't just go to people's pages and just see, what they liked. Which, it is what it is, I guess. But big shout out to Unholy Trini, which she messaged me and she was like, hey, Sohan liked something that I posted. So what she does is a lot of different trades. She has a really good time with this. I personally don't have a great time with trade scenarios. I'll be real with you guys. I do not have a good time with trade scenarios. I don't have fun with them at all. But she does. And quite a few people on Spurs Twitter does. But she did this. And basically what it looked like was... Oop. Get away. What it looked like was the Suns get Keldon, Blake, our 2026 round 1. Devin Vassell goes to the Jazz, and they get our Atlanta 2025. And then the Spurs get Clint Capella, NAW, and Kevin Durant. And what she actually posted, because I think we need to have context here, because a lot of people, we just scroll through things. We're not expecting people to notice that we liked anything. That you'll just see this starting lineup and just like it, right? Like right off the bat. So she put Kevin Durant, you are a Spur. Fox, Castle, KD, Sohan, Wemby. And she posted this saying, hey, OMG, Jeremy Sohan liked my tweet. And this is proof of that. So yeah, he liked that post. And probably more, like I said, what it probably was you saw Kevin Durant, you are a Spur. And then, the premise that she put forward. So we can at least, what I take from this, I don't take from this any negativity whatsoever. What I take from this is that the team, at least Sohan, would be content with KD being part of it, or at least he finds that fun with the idea that KD being on the team. Which, let's be real, this starting lineup is kind of sick. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. This starting lineup is kind of sick. But you guys know, this is why I don't really care for trade scenarios. I don't think this is too much for KD, but I don't want to give up much of anything, to be real with you, right? Like, I don't want to give up the 14. I don't want to give up an Atlanta swap. This is just me being stubborn. I don't want to give up Devin, but is it worth it? For sure, right? For sure it's worth it. So, anyways. But yeah, reading too much into Sohan liking this tweet is a reach. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You don't want to reach too far. Because literally that's just how social media works. You scroll through things, it comes up on your feed. You probably just see Kevin Durant, you are a Spur. You see the starting lineup, like, oh, that's kind of cool, and like it and keep moving, right? I don't think that he looked at this and was like, yes, I don't want Devin Vassell, Keldon, Blake, or these picks. I want Kevin Durant. I don't think it was all that. I don't think it's that deep, right? But yeah, so just wanted to show you this. Take what you will, right? Like I say, I go over every single thing that's Spurs related. So if it's something that's interesting, I'm going to put it over there, But yeah. Good stuff. I guess. I don't know. I don't want Kevin Durant. But if it happens, I'm sure the Spurs did some finessing, right? In this trade, I mean, to be honest, this is kind of a finesse trade. It's kind of a finesse trade. But yeah. Hating on Sohan in Big 25, crazy to me. Yeah, bro. I don't know. I don't understand it either. I don't get it. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got to go over that. How many segments did we do? Because I don't want to do more than 5 tonight. How many did we do? Okay, technically we already did 5, but that does look like a good one, though. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sure one of these segments can wait. Because I want to go live on Tuesday night, so one of these is going to be pushed to Wednesday. But I did want to go over that. What the heck? Where the heck is that? Did someone... somebody might have... Did someone... tag me? I think someone tagged me in it. Let's see. Oh gosh, no, we got a couple other things. We'll save this for another time. All right, we got a couple things we can wait next time. Okay, here it is. So, is this on Twitter? Where is this? This thing's an hour long. It's Hoops Fix. Let's see if I can find it. What can you get for Sohan? Absolutely nothing. I'm not trading Sohan. If the Spurs did that, I would call the franchise stupid. That would be like my biggest critique if they traded Sohan. Also, I'm just going to throw this out there. Okay? Once again, it's one of those situations where you can believe me or you're not, or you don't have to. And I won't give any specifics because I promise I wouldn't. But the Spurs have no intention of trading Sohan. And there's actually a big reason for it. One of which where I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's other reasons as well, but there's one in particular that happened recently where they definitely aren't going to be trading them. It's a good thing. It's not like something negative, something crazy. Okay, so Jeremy Sohan. No, it's not that, Jesse. It was something else. So Jeremy Sohan. Here we go. Episode 121 of Hoops Fix. I love Hoops Fix, y'all. I watch every single episode of Hoops Fix. I have no idea. I don't know what Hoops Fix is. But what I do know is that Jeremy Sohan likes them. He posted this. He said, Raw, someone who will always be true to the game and easy to talk to. Thank you, Sam Netter. From Hoops Fix. All right, so I'm gonna be real with you guys. Okay, as much as I love you, I don't know if I can go a whole hour of this. The whole hour reaction would basically be like 2.5 hours of us talking about it. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna speed it up. Well, I guess I already got it sped up. And we'll take a look at quite a bit of this. Let's see. We got catching up with Sohan. Let's look at what the topics are. We got catching up with Sohan, life in the NBA, media and public perception, mental health and support systems, off-season plans and Eurobasket, NBA stars and referees, the ego factor, evolving goals in the oh my God, so much. Okay, actually, I want to listen to all this. All right, so what we're going to do, we'll listen to quite a few of it. Maybe this will be like 3 separate segments. I'm going to go live again on Tuesday night, and then, maybe we'll do another section of this. I think that would be a good idea. But right now, let's just try to get through, I guess, about 20 minutes of this. All right. Let's listen.
Jeremy, how's it going?
I'm good. Back in London, England. It's been a crazy year, but no, I'm doing well.
So you just got back from the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
And how was that as a trip?
Crazy. I knew a little bit about Philippines, especially about their basketball, but
I had my hair look like that. I dyed it platinum blonde, and then when it grew out, it looked just like it. It was pretty cool. It's a cool hairstyle. I like it.
It's a whole different level there. How much they love it, the culture. It was truly amazing. It was crazy.
What was that for? Was that like an NBA thing, a Spurs thing, a brand thing?
Yeah, the NBA reached out. They were doing like a high school tournament, Rising Stars Invitational, and I think it was high schools around Philippines. And the winner actually goes to Singapore to play like this regional one.
Okay.
So it was pretty big. It was a lot of fun for me. It was, I've never been to Asia. One of my closest boys, Carl, was from Philippines. So I think it was just a good opportunity to experience that, and it was great. It was great.
Obviously,
Caps, are you okay? Caps, are you okay? What did I say? What did I say? I was just watching, and that was your comment. Are you okay? Are you all right? I mean, I know that you hate him. I know you hate him with a burning passion, man, but you got to relax, bro. What is that? What kind of comment is that? I was literally just watching. Jeez, everything is glazed nowadays, man. You can't even watch an interview. Wow. Incredible. You trying to imitate his hair? No, I was just saying that my hair was like that when I dyed it. That's all I said. I said it was a cool hairstyle. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You dyed your hair. You did that for Sohan. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like, oh my God. I got piercings too. Did I do that for Sohan? I got a nose piercing. I got a piercing here. Did I do that for Sohan? Does anybody in the chat have a tattoo? Get off of Sohan, all right? Get off of him, okay? Jeez. Do you guys like basketball? Sohan likes basketball. Get off of him, bro. For the love of God.
Was doing a quick bit of research for before we did this, like, you know, you were doing the media rounds, lot of interviews. You know, the last time that we did a podcast, you were just about to get drafted, and it was all new and exciting. And now you're in year 3, right?
Yeah.
It's not new anymore. It might have been exciting.
Yeah, Alex said I wake up in the morning for Sohan. Yes, we all do.
And now we're doing another interview. Are you getting tired of the media stuff, or do you still enjoy it? Like, I'm assuming that you get a lot of the same questions.
That's the problem. If it's the same questions constantly, that's when it gets a little annoying. But I feel like it's part of the job. It's part of, you know.
Sup, clan? I saw your recommended video. Everything right about Dragon Ball Evolution should be a -1 right thing. A negative, one right thing. Yeah, that's actually Totally Not Mark. If you guys are Dragon Ball fans, you should definitely watch Totally Not Mark. He does a really great job with his videos. I have that on my watch later. I do want to see, because that seems like an interesting video, right? But like the only thing I can think of that they got right was Goku likes food. Like that's kind of it. Oh, his name is Goku too, so they got that right. The character names are right. I don't know what else they got right.
What I need to do to be where I'm at. So I don't look at it. Sometimes, you know, it depends on the mood as well. But I don't hate it. But when it's the same typical questions, it can get a little boring.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of guidance, like in the States, from the PR side of being like, you know, look, you can talk about this, don't talk about this? Like, how much do they try and sort of shape what you're able to talk about?
A little bit. But I feel like the type of player I am person, I feel like they give me, you know, freedom to, you know, say stuff, like say whatever is on my mind. I think, again, of course, you know, it has to be, you know.
Okay, so we just talked about Jackson, right? We just talked about Steven Jackson, and I think it's a very big difference, right? Like, Sohan is a player that I don't think that there is a lot of toxicity when it comes to, like, how can I explain this? Okay, I think I understand. I think I know how I want to phrase it. So, okay, people that didn't watch that segment, let me go and break down what happened. So we looked at a Danny Green interview with Steven Jackson that was recent, in which Steven Jackson ended up saying that during one of his practices in 2013, he got on to certain players. He was like, "What's your problem? Pass the effing ball." Like, really was toxic towards them. And the Spurs didn't like that, right? And eventually, obviously, got replaced with T-Mac. So that was a big thing, right? And he talked about, like, hey, I'm just passionate. And now we hear Jeremy Sohan saying, yeah, the team allows me to do whatever I want, right? Say whatever I want. It's not that big a deal. Nobody really cares. But I think the biggest difference between Sohan and Jackson in this regard, as far as personality-wise, is I feel like Steven Jackson, a big chunk of his issues came down to ego. Right, a big chunk of it came down to ego, because you can be critical of teammates, you can be critical of game plans, you can be critical of so many different things. But if you're coming at it at a certain angle, it hits a little different, right? It's a different vibe. I guess it will be similar to, like, if you have somebody that you really care about give you advice on something, right? Versus some stranger on the internet. Like, let's say that they're like, you need to get healthy, right? If your mom tells you that, that's it. Well, I guess it depends on what type of mom you have, right? But if your mom tells you that, it's a different vibe, the way that she came about it, and you know, oh, it's a place of care or whatever. But if some rando on the internet comes to you like that, or, you know, they come to you a little hostile, it's a completely different vibe, right? It's something underneath the surface that's going on there. So I think that with Jackson, it was mainly ego, and with Sohan, first off, I don't think he really gets on players like that, but we do know that he had like a back and forth with Zach Collins. It's just a different vibe. I think it's just a different vibe. And every player has an ego. Don't get me wrong. Every player has an ego, but I think Jackson was mostly ego at that time. Sohan has an ego, but it manifests as wanting to be a good teammate, glue guy. Yeah. He's willing to take a back seat. He knows that, hey, I'm not better than Wemby. Right, but I feel like with Steven Jackson, the fact that he let it come out of his mouth that he's better than Manu, and then say that he was better than Tony, is crazy to me.
EG, and you know, you can't be swearing all the time and all the, you know, stuff. But yeah, I think overall, you know, they give you some talking points. But at the end of the day, you know, I like.
He's talking about the NBA, but I know that the Spurs do this well. Like, Sohan gets away with lots of things he say to the media, but it never comes across as all ego. It's all about me or anything like that.
Be myself. So, you know, I try be me in these interviews and stuff.
when I think back to that last interview, and then I look at now, like, obviously you're a different person. You're the same person, but a lot's changed.
But I should watch that too. I should watch it.
It's super interesting to kind of hear how you're viewing things at that time, you know?
Yeah.
If you think back to just before you got drafted and who you were as a person, what do you think has changed from then until now?
It's a good question. I think a lot. I think maturity-wise,
A lot.
You know, I feel like I've seen a lot now. Just the whole side of, you know, business, basketball. You know, even, you know, money. You know, the people I'm around. It's definitely changed a lot. But I think it's
A lot.
The cool thing I think for me is I keep the same people around me when, you know, before all of this. My parents are still in America with me. My friends from UK, from Southampton and Milton.
That's some no new friends type stuff. Who is the guy that he's always doing videos with? You guys know what I'm talking about? I couldn't tell, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I like full transparency here. I thought at one point I was like, okay, is that his brother? It's like, I don't know. Is that his cousin? I don't know. And then at one point I was like, is he dating him? Like, I do not know their relationship. I do not. You guys know who I'm talking about? It's the light skinned guy, the light skinned fella. I don't know his name, but he did so many videos with them to the point where I was like, yo, no, I mean that's fine. I wouldn't care. I didn't know, bro. I was like, are y'all like, yeah, okay, so you know who I'm talking about. I don't know. I guess that maybe that's his like, maybe it's his brother. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but I am curious. I think if I look deeper into it, I would know, but like I don't. I try not to stalk. They're roommates. Oh, they're roommates. Okay, got it. I don't know. I have no idea. Seriously, I don't know. It's no big deal. It doesn't matter.
Keynes, Jack and Matt, you know, my coaches. So I think, you know, that part doesn't change, and, you know, it's not like I'm doing crazy stuff and, you know, changing who I am. I think it's, you know, just...
It might legit just be his best friend. Figure early basketball friend. Yeah, it's probably just his best friend.
perspective and all that stuff.
Has your relationship with basketball changed as it's gone from, you know, this passion, this love to it's your job now, right?
That's a good question. I think at times I think it has, but I think, you know, you try keep, you know, it as basketball, just the way I played as a kid. You know, it was just love. It was something I'd love to do, to, you know, compete and win. But
remember when Sohan, Keldon slap each other? Didn't Sohan? I thought Sohan slapped Keldon, and then I don't know. I do remember that. Was funny.
I'm not gonna lie, there's times, you know, it gets tough. You know, it's a business. Whether it's
No, Sohan is dating someone named Ari Alexander. Is that a real person? How do you know that? Is that real? Are we trolling? Okay, hold on. I my curiosity is just too much. Sohan. Who is this? Oh, this is literally 6 days ago. This is TikTok. Hold on, let's see if it comes up. Okay, I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. Jeremy Sohan girlfriend Alexander. I don't know. Her? I don't know. This is just. Are we just making stuff up? Who is this? Is that her? You can just look up these things. Like I'm genuinely curious now. Was that her? Oh wait, I think that is. Wait, is that her? I don't know. That's all right. You don't have to know. I don't know, dude. Yeah. I guess it doesn't matter. Good stuff, though. Good stuff.
You know, your boy's getting traded to, you know, not playing or injuries. Like there's a lot of different factors that you know, can make it tough, you know, some of the days. But I think at the end of the day, you know, I see it as basketball, something that I grew up with and you know, loved and was passionate about.
Is being an NBA player everything you imagined it to be?
Felix says Sohan is such a good guy and such a Spur. I agree with this such a Spur part for sure, bro. Like, he said the huge difference between him and Jackson is that Jeremy is a team first and has no toxic ego. He's a guy you want to have as your teammate. Yeah, like easily. It's very obvious too.
To be.
Cool. I think so. I think, you know, as a kid, I always said it, like, everyone asks me about this, but I always said I was gonna be in the NBA. So like,
She might have been the girl in the black. Oh, okay.
once I actually got to the NBA, it wasn't like oh snap, like I'm here. Like, it just felt natural. It felt like I belong here. I was meant to be here.
What a
I do
difference.
think there's nothing that.
What a difference, bro. You can kind of tell the difference between players that, like, yeah, I belong here, and players where it takes a little bit more work. You can just tell. Like, our boy Derek White, it took him a while to realize he belonged in the NBA.
It's happened, or I've seen that. It's like, oh snap, this is like next level, like crazy. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
What do you think is the part about it that people don't see? You know, like when all these kids across the UK are dreaming of being in the position you're in, right? You now are in a position where you actually face the reality of what it looks like.
Yeah.
And there must be things that you probably didn't think about before you made the NBA. Like, kind of, what are the sort of the unseen parts of it that maybe people don't recognise?
I think just the business side, like how cutthroat it is. I remember the first couple meetings I had, you know, because we, as rookies, we have like these rookie transition programs. They have to do. I think they changed it, and I was in summer league. I didn't play summer league, but I was there, and you know, it's all different presentations about, you know, financial stuff, agents, family, friends, girls, all sorts of different things. But one thing was like the length of a player's career, and I don't, you can't fact check me on this, but I think it's around 3 years. You know, so it's super cup.
3? I guess that's not that crazy. This is why, you guys know how, like, sometimes Spurs fans, and I guess any franchise does this, but like Spurs fans get so critical of our draft picks, where they're like, this player wasn't that good, this player isn't that good, this player is not, and we'll have like literally 6 players or 7 players on our team that we personally drafted that are getting playing time, and we would criticize every single draft that the Spurs did. I would really encourage people, before you like truly criticize the San Antonio Spurs, go back to some of our recent drafts and look at how many players in that draft. You can look at players before we picked, but in that draft that are still good in the NBA or still have jobs in the NBA, or just look up how many minutes they're getting in the NBA. Because the fact that the Spurs have been able to continuously draft guys and get some type of mileage out of them for X amount of years is pretty impressive. I'm going to be real with you. It's pretty impressive. So I don't know. I think we do a pretty good job at drafting. Like, yeah, you can pick out certain drafts and say, oh, dang, you chose, you know, Devin over Halliburton or something like that. A lot of teams did. I get with that. But then let's not act like Vassell isn't getting utility, right? Like, a lot of teams can't even say that. A lot of teams draft and their guys are gone within the first year. You know?
Cutthroat. Like, people don't realize 60 new players come in every year, so there's no space for players. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that I really like.
Exactly. DeJounte, Keldon, Derek. Like, yeah, these are guys that's still getting playing time, right? And deserve to be in the NBA. But you can't, you know, but people will want to point out, like, Luka, right? Well, what about Luka Samanic? The fact that you can get a player in mid to late first round pick and get multitude of years out of them is a feat in and of itself. It speaks to how good you are at drafting.
You know, realize, and yeah, I thought that part was pretty crazy.
Did you find that that rookie transition program helpful? Do you think it provided guidance that you wouldn't have received from elsewhere?
It was just a presentation. That don't sound that helpful.
So for me, I think I was good without it because of the people around me. My agent is good. Yeah. You know, my family.
Spurs do a good job and make sure you draft the right types of guys, right? So you don't have to have too much guidance in that department, I guess.
Family, but I feel like in that sense I'm pretty lucky. But not everyone has the same, you know, system around, you know, themselves. So
yeah,
I feel like it could be good for, you know, some certain players.
Do you think that you've mentioned now twice that the business, right? Do you feel like you find yourself looking at it like a business now, as opposed to
unless it is Primo? I don't know if you had any. I don't know how you could have known with Primo, to be honest. Something like that. I don't know. That was so left field. I don't know if you could have even known, bro. Because even Josh Primo, he really came across as like, I remember us watching his press conference being like, what the heck? Like, how old is this kid? Wolf in sheep's clothing. Yes, that was very hard to,
to just basketball? Are you trying to see yourself as a businessman or an employee, a worker that you work like this is your job? Like, yeah. Well, how are you viewing it?
That's a good question. I see it as a business, but I always want to be true to myself. And at the end of the day, I know the reasons why I'm here. Like, how did I get here? It was literally just playing basketball, working hard, just doing the right things. And I think when you remind yourself that that's what's most important, you just see it as basketball. And of course, there's the business side. You can't hide away from that. There's going to be different opportunities. There's going to be different things that happen on a team. You never know. But I always try, kind of have a growth mindset towards it and just play the game.
Yeah, of course.
Keeps things in perspective.
I watched your
that's cool.
End of season interview.
Yeah.
Did your press conference with the Spurs, and one of the things
I have to say, this is far better than that other interview we looked at. Like 150 times better. I really do want to watch this whole thing, but we're gonna have to split it up.
I picked up on was you just talking about your role and sort of. I think you said like the last 2 years have been difficult for you personally in trying to understand your role and where they want you, what they want you to do. Like, what have you found particularly difficult about that? Like, where do you see it now?
Yeah, no, like you said, I said that these last 2 years have been tough. I played from point guard, which I never did until the NBA at the highest level. I played backup center. I played all positions. For me, the toughest part was to like find consistency in it. Sometimes I didn't know what was gonna happen, and for me, I always want to compete and give the best to the team. And I feel like at times I couldn't achieve that. So I think that was the toughest part. And I think the way I see it, I was in those moments, and maybe in the moment it didn't feel good, but I feel like you still grow from it.
One thing I want to say about this interview, the one thing that kind of stood out, and I know it's something that's very small that probably don't think it's that big a deal, but I think it's a big deal. The fact when he was talking about the rookie program that they were in, to look at finances, talk about girls, how do you carry yourself, agents, all that good stuff. I thought that it's very telling that, because obviously Sohan, if you know his history, you know that he has been very, very privileged. Like when it came to like his experiences, different countries that he's been to. The fact that he was able to say, hey, some people actually do need that because they have different backgrounds than I do. I think that that's very telling. I think that kind of speaks to the Spurs as an organization too. Like it's and if you want to just say like, I think on a human side of things, that's really important. But I think that's also important as a teammate as well, because you're going to get so many people in that have different backgrounds, and being able to relate to them or being able to empathize and understand your teammates is super important. And Wemby has it, because we know that Wemby has been like seen as a prodigy since he was like a teenager, right? But he has had it. Sohan has it. Popovich has it. And I think in turn, all the people that they hire probably has that. So I just think that's really important. That's something that might seem small, but somebody that's been in the position that Sohan has been in, for him to say, not to be on his high horse, because he could have easily went into that question and just said, no, I mean, it's worthless. It's not, what good is it? But he was able to recognize that it didn't mean much to me, but it might mean a lot to other people. That stuff is important. It's important. He's always thoughtful. It's good. It shows his humility. Humility is important. It's very important. So these are small things that you should pick up on when we're talking about our players, right?
You kind of reflect on it, and later on you see it and you look at the past and you're like, okay, this really helped, or I can do this now, or I can change this. So I always see the beauty in it, and I think I'm happy I went through all of it.
The famous point guard experiment.
Yeah.
How do you reflect on that now?
Yeah, it was tough.
Sohan can't shoot and defense sus. What? You can't be talking about Sohan. I don't. What? Daring over Sohan? You guys are weird. Why are you guys doing this? This is troll talk. Yeah, I think y'all trolling a little bit.
Tough.
Defense sus is a crazy statement.
It's my second year. We didn't do too much like work or.
How was it first presented to you? Like, how
Yeah.
did you first learn?
Clayton, you see the Steph Castle workout footage? I have seen it. Wait, no, we didn't watch the full thing. That's another thing we'll have to watch the full thing of. We saw like a small segment of it and we went over it in a video. But yeah, we'll have to do the full thing soon.
And I say we're gonna stop
Right.
your point guard.
So my first year, towards the end, I was playing point guard.
During shooting like 60%. Can you please can we please be real here on where Duran gets his shots and how he gets his shots? Can we contextualize it a little bit? Can we not do that? Can we not do that? Halliburton over for sale? Yeah, easy. That's an easy one. But like, can we not do that? Jeez, guys. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thing to say. That's all you get out of that. You don't have the same defensive versatility that you would get out of a Sohan. He literally guards all positions. And if you say that's not true, you're either lying or you don't know what you're talking about. Because we can go and look at the stats once again and show how he does against guards versus centers versus power forwards versus small forwards. It's all the same thing.
It was
Y'all ain't gonna hate. Y'all ain't gonna hate. Don't do this, Clay. I'm ignore them. I'm ignore them. Y'all not gonna hate. You're not gonna hate. I literally tell you something that's coming out of this interview that's very thoughtful and I think is important. And our responses are, what about Duran? What are we talking about?
random. I'm not really sure why. Pop. That's the one thing that's cool about Pop. He likes to try new things. He's bold. And I started playing more point guard. Maybe we had a couple injuries. He just saw my playmaking ability and vision. And towards the end of the season, the meetings we had, exit meetings, he just threw out this idea that he's gonna think about and want to try, and it just happened. And
Were you a willing participant at that?
Duran wouldn't play well with Wemby at all. No, he wouldn't. I mean, we've already seen what it looks like when Wemby's out there with a player like Duran. It doesn't really pan out. Even French, when they went to the Olympics with this French team, they couldn't play him with Rudy Gobert. It just doesn't work.
At that point, were you like,
yeah, I'm always winning, and maybe sometimes that bites you. But I'm always gonna be winning. I'm always about trying stuff, experiencing new things. So it was definitely interesting, how it happened, but it was definitely a long process, being involved as the number one point guard on the team, especially in the environment. Victor just came, so he had a lot of media presence. Like we never seen that before. My first year, we didn't have as much media around, so it was definitely a tough period for sure.
Yeah. How did you find sort of the media scrutiny around it?
Yeah, I don't know. I actually was talking recently
Oh, yeah, this is a good one. We need to end on this question.
to my boys about it. They kind of tried to make me out as this villain who is selfish and doesn't want to pass to some players. But it was truly like when I see stuff like that, I just kind of just push it on the side because it's not true.
Yeah.
And I think most important thing is for the people around me to not feel like that and react like that. So I think I didn't really give it a big deal. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, he just called y'all out. There was so much narrativizing, bro. It was so much the narrativizing was so bad that I literally did this. Hold on. The narrativizing was so bad. So I posted. I still have it as the pin if y'all are ever interested in it. But like people around that time, because this might seem just random if you just come on here and you're like, this is weird. What? But I said Vic and Sohan being PFFs. Don't let hater narratives fool you. It was ridiculous. Rookie Wemby. It was ridiculous. The type of things that people were saying. So I created a thread, and I'm still adding to it when things happen. But it's like we have overwhelming evidence that these two like each other. Like that they're cool. So the idea that they aren't, or that he's just being selfish, I think that's just ridiculous. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that he's bringing that up. He's basically calling those people out. That's beautiful.
Like one of the things we spoke about on the previous podcast we did was about the sort of the online stuff. You know, it was that was actually after the tournament and the UNC game.
Yeah, that was a crazy period too. That's probably like the first one that it happened.
It's so bad, like it's so bad, and I would think that in the NBA that is 10x whatever that was in college.
Yeah, it just keeps getting worse.
And obviously we're talking about it now, and you act like it's you just walk off a duck's back. You're just like, I'll just block it out. I just focus on the present. It's not a big deal. But surely it's
it definitely weighs down on you, especially there's moments where maybe you're having a bad stretch, you're not playing well, and it happens, and maybe I don't know, maybe something off the court you have some issues too. Then of course, like the one thing is, people always say, oh, just block, don't go on Instagram, don't go on this. It's gonna find you. It's gonna find you some way. Whether it's someone sending it to you, your boy, by accident, not knowing, it's gonna hurt your feelings or something. It's always gonna you're always gonna see it somewhere. So it definitely does weigh on you. But I think for me especially, I feel like I communicate, and I got people around me that help and kind of like ease it off. And I think at that point it helps, with all of that stuff.
Has it ever really got you to the point where you've had to get support?
I wouldn't say so.
No.
I've been lucky. But I've seen, I be getting DMs and stuff, mentions, but I've seen some of the stuff that, my teammates get, and it's sad. It's sad that like people can like talk to you like that, you know what I mean? But it's interesting where it comes from.
I never do it. Back in maybe what kind of disturbs me with all that stuff, where like you talk really trash about players or whatnot, like you go too far with it, is like back when I was in middle school, I felt like that. I never like tried to message players or try to communicate with players, which I guess back then you probably weren't gonna get a chance to. But I would trash talk or whatnot. But like as I gotten older, bro, like throughout high school and then college, it's not worth it, man. And a lot of times you don't have a full picture of what the problem is or what's going on. And we kind of resort to just narrativizing things. Like the whole situation with Sohan and Wemby not necessarily clicking wasn't just the fact that he wasn't giving him alley-oops. Like that's ridiculous. Like Sohan was in a completely different position. And then number two, no one has ever played with someone like Wemby before. And we started to see, even with Wemby with different teams, with the French team in particular, they struggled to give him the ball in certain situations. I mean, it wasn't until we got Chris Paul where we saw a little bit more of, okay, this is what it kind of can look like, but we still haven't really fully figured it out, right? Because I think a big part of it is Wemby hasn't even figured it out. But it was just so much narrativizing around this till it just got out of hand. It got ridiculous. And people they have these weird parasocial relationships to the point where they feel like they can just say whatever to you, bro. They just feel like they can say absolutely whatever to you. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's not cool. You should chill.
From like, is it insecurity, or is it, you just lost that parlay? Like it's sad.
Do you think the gambling stuff has exacerbated it and made it a lot worse?
Oh yeah. It's made it huge. I'll be getting, it's crazy, before the game, the night before, I'll be getting someone texting me, please don't mess up my parlay, get 30 points or whatever it is, 20 points for me. I could probably find one right now. Let me try to find something.
That's mad.
It's mad, I'm telling you. It's crazy.
Does it not make you want to just shut down your social accounts, just not be on social media?
Not really. Not really. I'm not gonna lie, not really. But sometimes I will reply, like if someone's like super negative and like rude, I'll reply in like a positive way, like, oh man, hope you're doing well, like.
Yeah.
That makes them so angry, bro. Guys, if you ever get any type of hate, respond to it that way. Like, be really kind to them. It makes them so angry.
And you'll see, they'll flip. They'll be like, oh, nah, like, you're my guy, like, appreciate you. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I probably can't find any.
Does the NBA provide you training on stuff like that?
A little bit. The cool thing about the NBA, there's so many different programs that you can like join.
Because I think at the end of the day, ow, just hurt myself. I think at the end of the day, they do kind of like you. They just think that you'll never see it. Like they say whatever, and because you're behind a screen and they don't see your face, they think that you'll never see it. So they'll just say whatever, and maybe they have a little bit of frustration, but they do kind of like you. And yeah, they just feel bad after. That's how you should respond, though.
Or even mandatory to protect you from things like this, abuse,
Yeah.
Agents, all sorts of different things. So I think that's the cool thing, that they don't just let you kind of.
DL. No, I think the person in the chat was saying that he could take a DL-like role, which is like a glue guy, which I would agree with that. Saying DL is better offensively. Shooting-wise, I think DL was a... Oh, that's like cat hair on me. I think DL was a better shooter, obviously. And I also think DL was a better passer. But other than that, I would say Sohan is better at everything else than DL was. I don't even think that that's like controversial to say. He's a better defender. He's a better screener, better pick and roller. Yeah, I think he's better than like everything else. But
Just go be like,
Yeah.
just do you know what I mean? So
All of this stuff, like, it makes it, well, it's Mental Health Awareness Week this week, and obviously mental health is a growing conversation, right?
huge.
rebounder, he's a better rebounder than DL too.
It might.
That's controversial. I don't think so. You're trolling, Caps. Yeah, I don't think that's controversial to say. Like, DL was a better shooter and better passer. That's about it. What else was DL better at?
Must be hard mentally, not just for you, but for the rest of the players. Like, how much do you have to prioritize that, or do you think because you're in this environment, you've got friends, family around you?
Yeah,
that keep
better
you grounded,
finisher than
keep you
DL
sane?
too. Yeah,
That is your support network.
No, it's definitely my.
and I love everything is relative to the time, man. Because I love how, because you guys know I love DL. Like we're pro DL here, obviously, but like DL was on a winning team. We won a championship, and everybody is fond of DL. Same thing with like Tiago Splitter and all the players that were on that team, which rightfully so. We should be fond of them. But then when you go back and you look at the stats, you thought that they averaged more. DL stats in 2014 wasn't as impressive as you might have remembered. I think everything is just relative. I think that's all it really comes down to. It's just like your history with this player. You remember the feeling that you had that year. You remember all the cool plays, and you just start to, I don't know. That whole team was incredible, though. Yeah, that too. Love Boards DL, but y'all comparing Sohan in his third year to DL at his peak. Yeah, that was DL at his peak right there. He had been in the league for a while at that point.
Support network. For me, I've in the past I've actually had like.
Oh,
mental health training.
actually, we're gonna end it there because that's where I said I would end it. So we'll do the other segments soon. Yeah, because this was about 40 minutes of this. So we'll do the other segment soon, and we'll finish this interview. But that was really good so far, man. I think we got a lot out of it. This is by far the best conversation that I've seen Sohan have. That anybody has featured Sohan. So that was pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Nice. Sohan has fixed his jump shot. Yeah, he has. Okay. All right, Caps. Okay. Everybody's better than Sohan. Okay. Everybody. Sohan is the worst player we ever had. Gotcha. No, Caps is right. Sohan's literally the worst player ever. We can hear Mikasa in the background. She's just licking herself. Yeah, her hair, man. I gotta shave her. Not shave her. Brush her. Her hair is everywhere. Is it shedding season? It was not this bad like yesterday. What the heck is going on? How is your cat? Oh, let me make a guess. I think 6 years now? I think she's 6 years old. 6 or 7 years old. Shedding for a summer coat. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Summer coat coming in. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm about to brush her. I think that's it. Oh, by the way, guys, so something really cool is happening. Someone is going to trade their Steam Deck. It's the LCD original with my Nintendo Switch OLED, because guys, I don't play it. I want to get the Switch 2, but that'd probably be a minute. But I don't play it. But yeah, so I'll be getting a Steam Deck pretty soon. And that's going to come in real handy when I go to Japan, because that's a long flight. Yeah, it's a long flight. So, but isn't that cool? Isn't that nice? What I'm going to do is just put a bunch of what is it called? Emulators. I'm just going to get an emulator. Steam Deck is dope. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get an emulator, and I'm going to play a bunch of old games, man. I'm going to play a bunch of old games. Some that come to mind is like maybe Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. Some that I missed out on, Jet Set Radio. Yeah, I just want to get to it. I want to play Def Jam. Maybe play Def Jam Fight for New York. Something like that. Maybe I can play through that. I'm going to look up like story, because I know story-driven really got crazy around PS3 era. But I'm going to try to see if there's some really good story-driven games that I can get on Steam Deck. And I shouldn't have a problem with playing it, since, you know, there's USB ports in airplanes. Def Jam dope. Def Jam is so much fun. God of War. You said Paperboy? Every time I hear Paperboy, I think of Atlanta. Paperboy. I'm all about that Paperboy. Steam Deck is nice depending on your game taste. You literally play everything. You can even play like Switch games, which there's no Switch games I really want to like get on. What would be crazy if I could play like Mario Kart online against other people, but I don't think you can do that. I think you have to like, the other people have to also have your code to come in and play. But I'm super excited. I already bought a skin for it and everything. It's gonna be fun. Super Mario Bros. 2. Like the old school? Fire. Yeah, man. Should be fun. I was thinking what I could get on it. I'm gonna mess around with it though. I'll have it probably Wednesday is when I'll get it. And then I'm gonna mess around with it for the week. See what I can get on it. How about playing 2K with Castle? Why does it look like a PSP? I don't think it looks anything like a PSP. But PSP was comfortable. I'm also getting an Xbox controller for it, because I'm gonna get a dock and have the dock go into my TV, so I can play it like play those emulation games on my TV. But yeah, I need an Xbox controller. I mean, I guess I can get a PlayStation controller, but like, since the buttons are literally that of Xbox, I'm just gonna get an Xbox controller. Yakuza 3. I have that on PlayStation 5. That's a good idea, though. I could, if I go ahead and finish Yakuza 2, I need to finish that game. I could get Yakuza 3. Yakuza Like a Dragon, I need to play through, right, before I can play that game. Because I would like to play an RPG. Yakuza 0 is a must clan. I love that game so much. Yeah, I'm new to the Yakuza series, and it's already my favorite franchise ever. So I played Yakuza 0, Yakuza 1, I'm on Yakuza 2, and then yeah, I would have to play through the other ones. Because I wanted to get the pirate game, and I'm like, no, you gotta play through the Yakuza games. So that might be a good idea. Maybe I'll get Yakuza 3. I'm in my mid-40s, bruh. What do you think? Grew up on Atari and NES. My brother had, the oldest console I remember ever having was my brother having an SNES, and I was a little kid. I grew up off of Nintendo 64. But then my first console really was a GameCube. And the first console I bought was an Xbox, but I started with Yakuza Like a Dragon with no problem. Oh, can you start with that? Oh, dude, you're right. Okay, so it spoils Yakuza 6, but that's okay. That's okay. Well, I'll do that then. I think I have this game on my PlayStation, but I always avoided it because I was like, I haven't played the other ones. So I don't know what others may have told you, but in my personal opinion, Yakuza Like a Dragon was the first one I played in the series, and sure, I may have enjoyed it more playing the other games, but I think it was pretty solid entry, even all on its own. Okay. And I know I play a little bit of Judgment in television. I don't know about that. Double Dragon 2. I feel like I've heard of that. Double Dragon 2. Never mind. Dude, I'm gonna say something. Older games look so cool. Oh, you know what I'm gonna get? You know what I'm gonna get on there? I'm gonna get Shamu, dude. This old art style made me think of Shamu when you go into the arcade and play those old games. I'm gonna get Shamu on there. I'll replay Shamu 1 and 2. Shamu's fun. Clan, get that GTA 6 when you're out there in Japan. They don't have it. It would be nice if they had it. Like a Dragon is so good. I have a Steam Deck. I love it. Heck yeah. I play Cyberpunk on it. Cyberpunk, I replayed it after, you know, because when I first got it, I was like, what the heck is going on with this game? And then I got back to it. They fixed everything. Yeah, they fixed everything. I haven't beat it, though. Do they have Battletoads or TMNT? Okay, literally, you can get any game on a Steam Deck. Just about. Because you do Steam Deck, there's like an app for it, right? Isn't there like an app for it? And you can just go through all the emulation games. You can just play any of them. None of these are the Apple's thinking about, but yeah, any game you can think of is basically on there. I think that I heard that sometimes they have a little bit of struggle with PS3 games, and Switch games don't run the best sometimes. But like, other than that, you can literally get every game you want on this thing. It's just like a computer. Like, I could do that with my computer right now. The maps in Like a Dragon are based on the real world. Like the Yakuza series, right? Lived in Japan for 2 years and have always wanted to go back. What did you do when you lived there? I was thinking of just doing the well, not thinking, I've already applied for places, but just doing the teaching over there for the first year. What did you do? Let me take this in. If you like Doom, Hellsinger is a must try. Okay. Doom is cool. I never like loved Doom, but when I played it, it's been fun. Splinter Cell. Hold on, I'm gonna choose what video we should upload for tomorrow. What did we go over? Oh crap! You know what, guys? There might be one other thing to go over. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. So this actually should be something we post for tomorrow because I completely forgot. Upload the Sohan's interview for sure. Maybe tomorrow night, but tomorrow early there's something, and we didn't even do a segment on it yet. So hold on. All right, so all right, chat, I completely forgot to go over this. I completely missed it. So Laravia, you guys heard of him? You heard of Jake Laravia? If you don't remember, we did a video on him a couple years ago, or a few years ago, for that draft. These are my thoughts that I put on Twitter, in which I said Jake Laravia may not be that great offensively, which he seemed a little inconsistent throughout his college career. Last year, I think his last year of his college career, he shot fairly well from behind the arc, but he was a little spotty prior to that. I think it was like 31% his second year. But I said, but if my Spurs grabbed him in the second round, I'd be content. His defense is pretty good. He's also a great team player. So I thought that he was actually perfect. Oh, dang. Shout out to Peter. He said Kyle 2.0. Yeah, I thought that he was perfect for the Memphis Grizzlies initially because they needed a player like that. They needed someone that was kind of a glue guy that can do a little bit of multitude of things. But I'll be real with you. I'll be transparent. I haven't watched a lot of Jake Laravia. I do know that with the Kings, he's been considered a really good role player for them. And you know, just trying to think back at how I felt about him early on, I wanted us to get him, right? So I wanted to know what you guys think about grabbing him. But what ended up happening was Jake Laravia talking about teams that he would want to go to if he were to be traded. And the San Antonio Spurs were one of those teams. Let's see if I can find it. I might just have to type it in. Hold on. There we go. So we can see right here. I really did enjoy being there in Sacramento, even outside of the coaches and the players. The fan base there was amazing. I could see going back there as an option. He says, if Laravia doesn't end up back in Sacramento, he hopes to land on a young, up-and-coming team looking to contend for championship soon. Aside from Sacramento, Laravia mentioned Orlando, Detroit, San Antonio, and Denver as possible teams he would want to play for. Laravia's ultimate goals, like most NBA players, revolve around contributing to a title-winning team. Playoff basketball favors versatile, skilled, high-field players who impact winning in a variety of ways. And he says, when it comes down to it, you need three-point shooting, you need defense, he said. Every team needs a player like that, a taller wing that can play both sides of the ball, that can defend, be gritty, that can make shots. So moving on, he said stars on the team are going to get double teamed. They're going to get blitzed. So this is good right off the bat, okay? He knows his role. He's not going out of his way to say, oh my God, all these, I want the ball in my hands or anything like that. Teams are going to make role players beat us instead of the star players. And this is very true. You can kind of see it around the league right now, right? Like, what makes the OKC Thunder so dangerous is that. What makes the Pacers so dangerous is that. The amount of depth that you have. Like, pick your poison, What made the 2014 Spurs so dangerous is that. Like, okay, you stop this one player. You stop Kawhi. Okay, try us. Stop Duncan. Try us. Let's see who beats you, right? You got a lot of depth. So, I've said this before, and I hope that Spurs fans don't get caught into this trap. And what is that trap? The trap of we have too much of this thing, okay? You need to look around the league, open up our horizons a little bit, and you need multitude of players with a lot of depth on your team to make things work, okay? You need a lot of depth. So let's not get wrapped into, well, we have enough of this or enough of that. Do not do that, okay? Do not do that. So he's somebody who can add depth to our team if we were to go for it. And like I said, I really like Jake Laravia. I just didn't get a chance to watch a ton of him this season. But it says here, this is from Ben Pfeiffer. This is from December 4th, 2024. He says Jake Laravia is up 60% true shooting percentage and 39.6% from three. Low value. I think he only averaged like 2 threes a game. We'll look at that in a minute. The scoring has caught up to the rest of his game. Has been one of the better role players in the league so far, in my opinion. Memphis deploys him in so many ways. Screener, driver, pick and roll, handler, you name it. All right, let's see what we can get away with here. Hey. All right, guys. We're not going to get in trouble because we're going to go real slow. All right, so let's see here. All right, there's Baines. Jake Laravia makes a drive on the baseline. Ooh, okay. All right, a little unorthodox shot there. He made it. What another clip we got here. All right, comes in. Here's a pick and roll. Ooh, is he going to pass to the left? That would be a beautiful play. It'd be a beautiful play. He passed to the left. Beautiful. Bang. All right, so like I said before, a few years ago when we talked about what type of player he is, he would just be another glue guy that can do multitude of different things. So I'm with it. I'm for it. I'm happy with it. I think that would be good. This is what Jake Laravia also said. I didn't read this part. I'm 6'8". I have a good IQ of the game. I can pass. He's talking to you guys right now, by the way. He's talking to you Spurs fans, okay? He's like, you guys don't want me? Listen, I'm 6'8". I have a good IQ of the game. I can pass the ball. I can attack. I can shoot. I can cut. That versatile, taller wing position fits perfectly into that offense. I was making the right plays, and that's what he liked. So, anyways, I am for it. This will be another player that you bring on to the squad that shouldn't cost too much, right? Really good role player that adds depth to the team, and I expect the Spurs to be a playoff team, so you're going to need that depth, right? So I'm completely open to it. Always liked him, and personality-wise, I don't really advocate for any players being on the Spurs at all if I feel like the attitude ain't really there. But from my recollection back then, I really liked him. All right, so this is Jake Laravia's stats this season. And we can see here, low volumes, definitely low volume. But you can see he averaged 40. It was only 19 games on 19 minutes. 43.8% field goal percentage. Not the best, right? That's not that great. Year prior, though, with Memphis Grizzlies, it seemed like he really found his rhythm. So that could possibly be it as well, right? Like he finally got used to a team, and then you saw the best possible version of him. And then you go to Sacramento Kings, and, it's not, it's a completely different system. But 43.8%, 3-point percentage, 38.5 on 2 attempts, 2 to 3 attempts a game. Free throw percentage, pretty bad, but obviously we've seen better. Let's see. And then block steal wise, he's not going to be somebody that gives you like crazy stats defensively, right? Like, but he's a good on-ball defender and a good help defender. Anyway, wanted to see what you guys thought about that. Let me just read through some of that. Depth is the new super team. Exactly. And that's good. That's healthy, by the way. It should be. And luckily for us, the Spurs have been doing this for a very long time, having to build a team, and we create a dynasty out of building a team. So we should be the best at it. It's good that that's the meta. Lots of frustration involved, but I beat it. Wait, what? Oh, Metroid. You're talking about Metroid right now. Sorry. Laravia has scored on us. Decent games. We should get him. Jack of all trades. Sohan type attitude. Yeah. All right. So it seems like you guys are pretty hyped about it. So this is some pretty big news. The fact that we're on his list. And yeah, he got a good head on his shoulders, right? So let me know what you think, especially those of you who watched a ton of Jake Laravia over the course of the last season or two. I watched him quite a bit with Memphis. Didn't see him with the Kings. Not really, right? So yeah, I don't. I'm a little ignorant to Ravia over the course of the last like couple seasons. I'll be honest with you, but I recall liking him, and yeah, let me know what you think. Could have drafted him over Branham or Wesley. I was at the time. I was expecting him to be a second round pick. What pick did he end up going? Oh, he ended up going first, 19th. I thought he would be what was Blake and Malachi? Yo, Clan, I don't have much to say, but I do want to say I appreciate your channel so much because I don't have no one to really talk Spurs. I don't always catch lives, but I watch previous lives while at work. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I try to make sure like everybody has, we can all just sit back and talk. By the way, if you want, I rarely advertise this, but like you can join the Discord. I have a Discord link in the description. You join that bad boy, and there's plenty of people on there to talk to about the Spurs. I'm rarely in there, though, I'll be honest. And they actually, like, clown me when I go into my own Discord. I'll jump in my own Discord, and they're like, oh, wow, you finally showed up? Like, they don't. Yeah. But you can go. Laravia was pretty highly touted coming into the league as a high field wing forward. I thought he was going to be a second round pick, but yeah, I liked him. I liked him back then. Yeah, I liked him. I just didn't think, first round. I thought we'd get him in second. You think the Wemby height rumors are fake? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're real. That's why I haven't talked about it, because they did the same thing last year. Reports saying he might be 7'6". They did the same thing last year. I think he's a solid 7'5", and I think that's it. I don't think he grew at all. Part of me also wouldn't want to even believe that. It would take a lot of convincing because I don't want to believe that anyways. You could talk about it for a video. I just haven't brought it up because I think that's fake. Yeah, maybe we can talk about it next time. Now, I'll be going live, like I said, on Tuesday, and we'll have quite a bit to talk about because on Tuesday, we're going to do the other segments of this Jeremy Sohan interview because it's really good. Some pictures and videos make him look taller. I can't really tell. I think he got a little bit more muscle, like a little bit, but like I don't know. I don't think it's that serious. I don't want him to be that tall. You do not want him to be that tall. No. That's not a good thing. He is taller, I will say. So you think he's taller? Yeah, maybe I just didn't care enough. But maybe we'll talk about it. I wouldn't have much to say about it. Wilt play looks like Wemby so much. The touch. Oh, did someone like do like a side by side? I saw a side by side with SGA and Kobe, and it was pretty cool. I mean, people shouldn't be surprised. Like, it's so funny when we do the comparisons between Tatum and Kobe, but those comparisons are so forced because Tatum wants to be Kobe. But with SGA, I think the comparisons are way more valid. I think they're way more valid. But yeah. But he looks up to Kobe too. Just not in the like weird way that Tatum does. Wemby has bulked up for sure. I did see that. I do agree with that. I think he got a little bit more muscle. You do have to be a little careful though, catching players like after workouts. That definitely makes you look a little bigger. I mean, it happens with everybody. I'll go to the gym and like I look super buff after working out. It happens. Clan, did we go over Wemby's first 101 games starts in January? No. What is it? I can save it for next time. What is it? Thanks, Reggie. Just a random super chat. Thanks, man. Yeah, what happened? In the video, Giannis said, "I'll cross you over when you in the league." Huh? Oh, to Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey? He was talking to Ace. Please tell me you're rooting for the Pacers, right? And they did trade us Kawhi after all, and then George Hill from Indy. I'm not going for them for any of those reasons. I'm going for them because OKC Thunder fans, we won't hear the end of it. And honestly, Spurs fans, we won't hear the end of it. So I'm going for Pacers. Wemby's first 101 games in the NBA has more blocks than Hakeem, more threes than Curry, and more points than LeBron James. What? That's like literally insane. That's literally insane. He's so good, bro. Not trying to deal with Chet talking crazy. I'm not worried about Chet. I'm not worried about Chet. I'm not worried about the Warriors. Not the Warriors. I'm not worried about the Thunder themselves, okay? I'm not worried about them. Like, they deserve it. They work really hard. They play together. You know, they deserve to talk a little trash. Because especially with so many people saying how bad they are. Not saying that how bad they are, but, like, there's a lot of talking heads that saying they're not that good. And I hate that so much. It was really whack that they do that. But, you know, I'm not worried. I'm more so worried about the fans because those are the people that I interact with. And it's going to be awful. I'm going to tell you that right now. Every Spurs fan and their mom is going to talk about how they rebuilt right way. We don't know what we're doing, even though they rebuilt before us. Their rebuild started before us. So, yeah. Well, that is something I am not looking forward to hearing about. Clan is on YouTube, NBA, ESPN 4 months ago. I saw Migna compare Wemby one-on-one games to other players. He led LeBron in points, led Olajuwon in blocks, and led Curry in threes. They compared their first 101 games to Wemby's. That's an insane stat, nonetheless. Wemby's incredible. Literally incredible. He's unstoppable. A lot of you remember when we saw those that article about some exec said that like they want to get their championship in now because they know what's coming. Everyone can tell. It's very obvious. Everyone can tell this is about to be a problem. We have a problem. I mean, we don't. They do. But let me see something. I'm supposed to look at something. Where is it? Anyways. I'm tired of waiting for Spurs past while I want it now. Yeah, that's how I feel. All right, I am gonna hop off. All right, I'm gonna hop off. I completely forgot that I need to. It takes like 4 hours to cook something, and I want to cook it now. Which, oh gosh, what time is it gonna be? Oh my god. Gosh, I might have to wait. Yeah, I might have to wait. I want to go ahead and cook something so I can just have it for tomorrow, but it takes a minute. Which, I mean, I guess the oven will cut off, but I'll hear it if I fall asleep. Clan, it popped up on my videos, and I saw it, made me more excited. We have Wemby. Wemby's ridiculous. I went and watched some Wemby highlights, and it's kind of incredible. You like low-key forget how good he is. Pot roast? No, it's carnitas. It just has to cook in the oven for like 4 hours. Or 3.5 hours, but 5 a.m. when it's done. Well, like 4 where I'm at, but all right. I'm gonna hop off. I appreciate the love. I will see you guys Tuesday night. I'll see you Tuesday night. When is the game? Thursday. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go and cook it. I'm gonna cook that, and I'm watching some Andor. I will get with you guys later. Everybody have a good night. Much love. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye. Good night. Good night. Oh wait, let me see. Is there anybody on? I don't really have many people on TikTok. Shout out to Sebastian. Shout out to Louis. All right, y'all. Bye.